name is Lisa Legier, and I'm the Education Coordinator with FCNB, the Financial and Consumer Services Commission of New Brunswick. I'm honored to be here today to talk about a subject that I can personally relate to, building financial resilience in today's woman. I'm going to share stories and experiences with you today with the hopes of empowering you to take control of your finances, gain confidence in your financial decisions, and build good spending and saving habits to grow your financial resilience. Before we get started, I just want to note that although the information is believed to be accurate and complete as of the date of the presentation, there's no guarantee that it will remain accurate, complete, or current. The views expressed in this presentation are the personal views of the presenter, not of FCNB. This presentation is not intended to provide legal, accounting, or other professional advice. Please consult with your own professional advisors before taking action based on any information appearing in this presentation. So today I'm here to talk to you about women in finance and provide tips on how to build your financial resilience. I'll provide a brief overview of what financial resilience is, some of the barriers women face in achieving financial resilience, how to take control of your financial future, and tips on developing good spending and saving habits. Women play a big role in our economy, accounting for 42% of income earned in Canada in 2020. They interact with financial markets every day, making financial decisions for themselves and those they love. There have been major strides in women moving from dependence to independence. Today, women make up nearly half of the Canadian workforce at 47.4%. Women-owned businesses increased by 30% in the last 10 years. And organizations are showing increased commitment to gender diversity, with more than 80% of Canadian organizations stating that gender diversity is a priority. Research shows that nearly all women will be financially responsible for themselves or their families at some point in their lives. But the reality is that many women are underprepared to face these situations. All too often, the financial deck is still stacked against women due to the unique challenges they face. Women typically live longer than men, so this means that we will need to save more for our retirement years. However, women statistically have shorter work experience than men, making it hard to save for retirement. Women will likely need to take a break from their work to act as caregivers at some point in their life, whether that be for children or aging parents. Think for a moment about the number of years a woman may be out of the workforce or making less income. A woman in their 20s and 30s could take 2 to 8 years to care for young children. A woman in her 40s and 50s may decrease work hours to care for aging parents. A woman in her 60s could exit the workforce early to care for grandkids or an aging spouse. Of course, men also make many sacrifices for family, but they don't tend to have the same financial consequences. The COVID-19 pandemic is a key example of this. It dramatically impacted women as they bore the brunt of child-rearing responsibilities during school and daycare closures and caregiving responsibilities. In the first 2 months of the pandemic alone, the percentage of women who participated in Canada's workforce dropped 5.7%. 1.5 million women lost their jobs. Another barrier for women is the gender wage gap. Although there are many strides being taken to close the gender wage gap, statistics show that women are still underpaid compared to men. In fact, New Brunswick women earned on average 93.3% of what men did, a wage gap of 6.7%. And while organizations are committed to making progress in terms of diversity in their workplace, women are still underrepresented in non-entry-level positions. Some of the contributors to the wage gap include family responsibility and the undervaluation of traditional female occupations. Research shows the gender gap widens further for women within marginalized communities. The Canadian Women's Foundation issued a report on the gender wage gap based on Census 2016 data that shows that Indigenous women working full-time, full year, earn an average of 35% less than non-Indigenous men. Racialized women working full-time, full year, earn an average of 33% less than non-racialized men. Newcomer women working full-time, full year, earn an average of 29% less than non-newcomer men. Women with disabilities have lower incomes compared to women without disabilities and men with or without disabilities. Statistics Canada reported a difference of more than 17% in the personal income of women with disabilities compared to men with disabilities. So, why are we concerned with the financial well-being of New Brunswick women? As the province's financial services regulator, we inform, educate, and protect over 800,000 consumers through regulation and financial education, and we regulate 36,000 industry participants who make their living working with New Brunswickers' money. We provide New Brunswickers with the knowledge, skills, and confidence to make informed spending and investing decisions through unbiased information. Through our work with financial education and through research, we know that women tend to head more single-parent households than men. Women report more financial stress than men. Most common symptom is loss of sleep. Women tend to be out of the workforce longer than men and will have a lower pension. 44% of women in Canada have no savings or investments set aside for the future. Yet, 95% of women will be their family's primary financial decision maker at some point in their lives. Our goal is to build educational resources to help empower more women of all communities on the road to financial resilience. What does it mean to be financially resilient? Financial resilience is the ability to adapt or persevere through both predictable and unpredictable life events that impact your finances, such as unemployment or a sudden health issue. It plays a key role in a person's ability to weather life's storms, such as job loss, a sick child, the death of a spouse, or a spike in interest rates. While we know that achieving financial resilience is not an easy feat based on the barriers we've discussed today, and it can feel even further out of reach for women in marginalized communities, increasing financial literacy is a great starting point to helping women overcome barriers and empowering them on the road to financial resilience. So what is financial literacy? Having skills and knowledge to make informed decisions about managing your money. This includes being confident in making financial decisions, feeling comfortable asking questions related to financial matters, understanding financial risks when it comes to investing, being able to cover unexpected expenses, managing finances with a balance between saving and spending, developing good habits to secure a comfortable financial future. For example, financial knowledge can help you make informed choices, like deciding how and when to save and spend, comparing costs before a big purchase, and planning for retirement or building long-term savings. Part of building financial resilience is recognizing how we can overcome the barriers that stand in our way. Everyone needs to feel confident in the basics of money management, because when you manage your financial resources effectively, you improve your economic stability and your quality of life. One of the biggest barriers facing women today is their lack of confidence in their own financial knowledge. Research indicates a gap still exists between men and women in their financial knowledge. A third of this gap may be explained by low self-confidence among women. In a 2021 poll conducted by FCNB, only 46% of New Brunswick women said they feel confident when it comes to managing their finances, compared to 62% of men. However, of this same group, 75% of women passed a financial literacy quiz, compared to 80% of men, indicating women know more than they think. Your financial attitude contributes to your overall financial knowledge. One of the best ways to build your confidence with money is to talk about it. Take an active role in your finances and don't be afraid to speak up when talking about money with your family, friends, financial advisor, or lender. Ask questions so you can make decisions on how best to manage your money. It's important to also recognize that breaking down barriers and building financial knowledge and confidence starts at a young age. So be gender inclusive. Talking to young people equally about money and finances seems like a simple step, but perhaps even unconsciously, girls and gender diverse youth are often spoken to differently than boys about numerical concepts. Encourage the children in your life to take an interest in math and numbers by introducing numbers at a young age. For example, instead of using grouping words like few and some, count out objects using numbers to reinforce the importance of numeracy. When the child is a bit older, show them prices at the grocery store and help them add up totals to learn the true cost of day-to-day expenses. Building confidence in math and numbers early can help them feel more confident with math and finances as they age. While this presentation is focused on financial resilience for women, we recognize that many people also face additional unique and ongoing barriers to financial resilience as a result of their sexual orientations, gender identities, and expressions. Many of the negative byproducts of sexism that affect women also present challenges to 2S LGBTQI+ people, but additional barriers may include increased debt. Many 2S LGBTQI+ Canadians get cut off from family support when they come out, which may leave them in the position to have to take on more debt to meet their life goals. For example, student debt. Discrimination. In 2020, 1 in 5 2S LGBTQI+ workers in Canada experienced workplace discrimination based on their sexual orientation or gender identity. Healthcare costs. While most provinces provide some coverage for trans-affirming medical procedures and hormone replacement therapy, many workers do not have policies in place to support trans folks financially during their recovery, for example, medical or sick leaves. More likely to live in poverty. In 2018, the average personal income of 2S LGBTQI+ income earners was $39,000, while the average personal income of non-2S LGBTQI+ people in Canada was $54,000. Cost of living in affirming communities. For many, there is a desire to move to urban centers to have increased access to services and communities. Living in urban centers often comes at a higher cost than rural communities. So why take control of our finances? Well, taking control of your finances can help you understand what is most important in your life, understand what drives your financial decisions, focus on accomplishing your goals, and by doing more, you can achieve more, and ultimately prepare yourself to become more financially resilient as you grow. Your financial wellness is even shown to be linked to your mental and physical wellness. Improving your financial well-being will improve your overall well-being. When you feel you don't have control over your finances, it can be stressful. And stress has real consequences for your mental and physical health. So today, let's talk about building your financial roadmap. We'll talk about values and goals and how to develop an actionable plan. Your values is an important place to start when building your financial roadmap. Most of the financial decisions we make are driven by our values, like health, happiness, and security. For example, if you value health, you may spend money on yoga classes or fitness equipment. If you value creativity, you may spend money on art supplies or art classes for your children. And if you value freedom, you may spend money on a vehicle or vacations. When I was 12 years old, I started asking my parents for a swimming pool. At that time, discussing finances wasn't common, especially with children. And looking back, I'm sure my parents couldn't afford a luxury item like a pool at that time. So my parents just always kept saying no. For the next 5 years, I asked them every summer, and the answer was always the same, no. Finally, the year I graduated high school, I looked at my parents somewhat defiantly and said, when I go out on my own, I'm going to have a pool. So let's fast forward a few years. I had a young son and was going through a divorce and moved back to New Brunswick from Ontario. I started a new job and was living with my parents to help gain control of my finances. That same year, I saved enough money to buy a small 12-foot round inflatable pool that my parents let me set up in their yard. My son and I splashed and played in that pool for hours daily, and then every few years I would save and buy the next size up. Until about 6 years ago, I was able to install a permanent pool at my home. I share this story for two reasons. First, deciding what you want to save and spend your money on, or what you value, is a very personal decision. And if it is something that you really want, that can be an amazingly positive motivator to work towards. Even though it took me many years to achieve, I was able to eventually buy the pool I always wanted. And second, and this was an even bigger lesson for me, I got the same joy and wonderful memories from that little 12-foot pool as I do from my current one. Finding ways to have that same fun in the water and joy with my son with the financial means that I had at the time made me realize that no matter what my financial situation was throughout my life, I could find ways to fulfill my values without going into unnecessary debt. So take time to consider what's important to you and what you want your money to help you achieve before deciding how to manage your money. Some questions to ask yourself are, what brings me meaning and pleasure in my life? What do I consider priceless? What do I care most deeply about? And what do I stand for? Who are the most important people in my life? And what is the purpose of money in my life? So consider your own childhood memories and adult behavior and how those impact your values. When you spend money or make investment decisions, you might actually be repeating the actions of your parents and family members without considering if those actions work for you. In fact, you might be imitating behaviors that you don't even agree with. So now that you've figured out what's important to you, you can start to set financial goals and create a plan to achieve them. Goals are accomplishments you work towards that fulfill your values. Some examples include saving $300 in 10 months for Christmas, saving $1,000 in a year for an emergency fund, saving $10,000 in 10 years for your child's education, making a down payment of $2,500 on a vehicle in 2 years, saving $5,000 for a family vacation in 5 years, retiring in 15 years with an income of $50,000 a year for at least 20 years. By listing your short and long-term goals and aligning them with your values, you might discover spending habits that make it difficult or impossible to accomplish your goals. Understanding how these expenses impact your goals will make it easier for you to justify cutting back or eliminating them. Make sure the financial goals you set are SMART, or S-M-A-R-T. When setting your goals, ask yourself, S, are my goals specific? For example, I want to save $1,000 to buy a new computer. I researched what I need and can find one in that price range. M. Are my goals measurable? I will put $20 a week into my savings account to achieve this goal. A. Are my goals attainable? After reviewing all my expenses, I can put $20 per week aside to achieve this goal. R. Are my goals realistic? I can make this goal happen with the resources and plan that I have made. And T. Is it possible to reach my goals within a certain timeline? So by saving $20 per week for 50 weeks, that would give me $1,000. So I could save it in a little less than 1 year. Our goals should also help us become financially resilient. Ask yourself, do my goals prepare me for unforeseen circumstances or potential challenges in life? Once you have set your goals, the next step is to make a plan to achieve them. What specific steps do you need to take? Your plans are essentially the financial baby steps that you take every day towards achieving your goals. By writing down these plans, it will be easier to visualize yourself achieving your goals and fulfilling your values. So remember my pool example? Some may take longer to reach their goals than others, and it's important to remember that everyone has their own journey, and what you are saving for can be very different from your friends, family, and colleagues. Our financial choices are dependent on many varying factors: income level, personal expenses and obligations, even your family structure. This means that there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach to setting goals. When I was saving for my pool, I put more money aside when my expenses were lower and less when my expenses were higher. Reviewing your goals regularly can help you determine if what you are saving for is still important to you. If adjustments or changes are needed, well, that's okay. Don't forget to revisit your plans to update them as your circumstances change. So a roadmap can help you better understand your spending habits and where you can make improvements in the way you spend money. If your bank account shows a long list of mysterious late-night withdrawals and spontaneous small-ticket items, it might indicate that your spending habits need to be monitored and perhaps adjusted. A roadmap can help you focus on the things you value in life and ensure your spending habits line up with these values. Your roadmap can help you determine the best ways to budget your money to fulfill your values, whether it's for personal expenses like going out for dinner or the more necessary things like loan payments, rent, or transportation. Your financial roadmap will help you build and maintain a budget. This will allow you to work towards the goals you have set for yourself. Your financial roadmap will help you to visualize your short and long-term goals and get you thinking about steps you can take today to help you reach those goals. While helping you to better understand yourself, a financial roadmap is a great tool for open communication between you, your partner, and the important people in your life. Share your financial roadmap with your loved ones so they can better understand your financial motivations. With everything out in the open, there will be fewer surprises along the way. A budget is a tool that helps you gauge exactly where your finances are now and helps you get them where you want them to be. A well-balanced budget should help you make financial decisions with confidence and worry less about your future. Think of a budget as simply a plan to help you get the things you want. Here are some budgeting tips. Be honest. Take note of all your spending so you get a true picture of where your money is going. Be detailed. Make sure you track even your smallest expenditures, including your daily coffee. These can add up to hundreds of dollars a year. Track everything. $1 here and $5 there can really add up over time. Make sure you know where all of your money is going. I like to say, give all your money a job. Whether it is saving, spending, investing, all your money needs a place in your budget. Cut back. So look at your expenses critically and make necessary adjustments based on your values and your goals. So how to build a budget? First, look at your spending habits. Gather pay stubs, bills, receipts, and statements, and note what you are actually spending. Next, build your budget based on your spending habits. And last, adjust if you are overspending. Look at areas where you can cut and save. FCNB has a budget worksheet that can help you organize and keep track of your spending, and you can find it online at fcnb.ca. So let's talk about fixed costs. These are things like rent, a mortgage, property taxes, etc. Fixed costs are not flexible. They can occur every week, month, or every year, for example. Needs must be considered, but they may also be flexible costs. Needs include things like your power bill, groceries, and personal items. Next, we consider wants. These can have the most impact on your budget. Entertainment, shopping, cable, cell phone bills, for example. Determining if you can live without these items can be a great place to trim or even eliminate costs from your budget. Ask yourself these questions. Does my budget balance? Am I spending less than what I am making? Am I saving a minimum of 10%? Am I paying off debt as quickly as possible? If you answer no to any of these questions, or if you want to boost your savings, it's time to review your budget and cut back. We know it can be hard to cut back and break habits, but think about how cutting back can help you achieve your financial roadmap. You might be asking yourself, well, how much should I budget and where should I cut back? The How Much Should I Budget section of FCNB's budget workbook tells you what percentage of your income you should consider spending on certain categories, including housing, transportation, personal expenses, debt repayment, and savings. It also tells you how much you are actually spending in those categories. Use this as a guide to see where you should cut back and where you should be spending more. Again, remember that everyone's situation is different, and this information is meant to give you a place to start from. You can determine what percentages and amounts work best for you. To cut back, look at your fixed expenses as well as your discretionary spending to see where you could be saving more money. For example, to save on water, you could take shorter showers and always completely fill each load of laundry. For a lower energy bill, turn off the lights when you leave the room and use energy-efficient light bulbs. Spend less money on heating and cooling your home by adjusting the thermostat, especially if you're not going to be home. Save money by bundling your phone, TV, and internet into a package deal. Shop around for the best service provider and ditch the TV channels you barely watch. A big consideration is subscriptions. Do you need all those streaming services? Are you even using the ones you're paying for? Subscriptions can add up quickly. Consider doing it yourself rather than paying for household repairs. Maybe even grow your own vegetables. Walk or ride your bike whenever possible. And cut back on the number of coffees, movies, or dinners out. So saving may seem like a daunting goal when we think about daily expenses. With the high cost of living, creating an emergency fund or saving for a child's education may seem like an impossible hill to climb. For years, we've heard that we should be saving 10 to 15% of our income. For many, that may seem like an impossible mountain to climb. However, the act of saving even a small amount of money each month can help build important habits and contribute to a savings goal. When I was reestablishing myself after my divorce, I took a hard look at my finances and I said to myself, well, what can I absolutely commit to saving? At that time, I knew I could save $5 per month. I got a jar from the dollar store and physically started putting a $5 bill into it each month. Even though it was a small amount, the real advantage was I was forming a habit. So starting is the first step. No matter what you can afford to put away, the act of regularly saving money and making it automatic can become second nature with time and dedication. Even if you only save a few dollars a week or a month, when you put money away for an emergency or a savings goal, watching it grow can be a great motivator. Know that it's never too late to start. A Canadian woman's average life expectancy is 84 years, 4 more years than her male counterpart. That means women have, on average, more years of retirement to save for, and in all likelihood, will spend those years managing their money on their own. The Government of Canada's Canadian Retirement Income Calculator can help understand how much you need to save. You can also work with a registered financial advisor who can help you build a financial plan and start investing based on your goals. Investing is using your money to earn a profit. Everyone has a different idea of what money and investing means to them. For many, investing is a means to achieve personal freedom, a sense of security, or the ability to afford the things they want in life. If you're new to investing or have been investing for a while, it's important to set clear financial goals and to understand your risk tolerance and risk capacity. First, know yourself. So risk is the chance that an investment's return will be different than expected. Risk includes the possibility of losing some or all of the original investment and the possibility that returns will be higher than expected or lower. Risk tolerance is an important factor in the planning process. In investing, the higher the potential return, the higher the risks. So, if you want higher returns, you have to be prepared to accept the risks that go along with them. Your ability to take on risk is key to finding out what investment products may work for you. Your tolerance for risk may depend on preservation versus growth. Ask yourself, are you more concerned about keeping your money safe or seeing higher growth? Your timeline. When do you need to access your money? Are your investment goals long-term or short-term? Market changes. How will you react to the ups and downs of the markets? Debt or sources of income. What debt do you have and what sources of income do you have to fall back on? So how can a financial advisor help? They can help you set goals, build a long-term plan, choose suitable investments, track your progress, and adjust your plan when needed. Advisors can offer a broad range of products and services to help you meet your financial goals. They can make clear and specific recommendations, explain the reasons for the recommendations, point out the strengths and weaknesses of opportunities and recommendations, and they can outline the risks involved. It's important to note what advisors cannot do. So they can't predict market performance with certainty, recommend investments that are always profitable, act on vague instructions by you, or meet unrealistic goals. Before you hire a financial advisor, know who you are dealing with. All financial advisors in New Brunswick must be registered with FCNB before they can manage your investments or provide advice, and you can check registration at fcnb.ca. Last but certainly not least, talking about money with the people you love and who are impacted by the decisions you make is an important factor. If you have a partner, talk with them. Conversation is the key to a healthy relationship. Being open about finances with your partner is the best way to avoid arguments and work together to create a secure and less worrisome future. Use your financial roadmap to get the conversation started. Discuss your financial roadmap with your partner and ask your partner to create one too. Comparing notes will help you to better understand each other's financial motivations. Discuss any debts, financial obligations such as child support, investments, purchases, or savings that you both have, as well as your thoughts and behaviors about managing debt, credit, spending habits, financial decisions, and financial goals. This will help you to understand each other's values. Don't abandon your own personal values. Make decisions based on what's right for you. If you have children, start talking to them early on. Good habits now mean great habits when they're adults. As we mentioned earlier, consider how you speak to your child. Avoid using general terms like some and few. Instead, count with them. Be a role model. Lead by example to encourage your children's money management skills. If you're modeling responsible money management in front of your children, it's likely they will follow suit. I remember as a child, my father encouraging me to save for a Cabbage Patch doll that I really wanted. In the 80s, this doll was extremely popular, and all my friends had one. He said that if I save and earn the money myself, I would appreciate it even more. It took me almost a year to save enough allowance to purchase the doll, but I still have it to this day, and being able to go to the store and buy it with my own money was exciting, and it taught me the value of working towards a goal. Teaching our children about financial goals at a young age can help them develop good saving habits that they can carry into adulthood. Discuss and involve. As soon as they start to show an interest in money, talk to your children about where it comes from, how it's earned, and how to spend it wisely. This can be done while you're at the grocery store, bank, or gas station. Brainstorm with them to find ways to save money around the house, how to reduce energy and water costs, plan budget-friendly meals, or even go through flyers together to find the best deals. Protect. So don't overwhelm your child with money troubles. There are things your children just don't need to be worrying about. Only share financial information that is age appropriate. At FCNB.ca, you can find our Make Account Parents Guide. This guide provides tips and activities to help you engage your children and open the discussion about money. If you have aging parents or loved ones, it's also important as women to understand the financial responsibilities we may need to bear in our future. As we mentioned earlier, many women will likely serve as caregiver to an aging loved one at some point in their lives. In fact, 1 in 4 Canadians play the important role of helping an older loved one. As Canada's population ages, this number will likely increase. In 2018, women accounted for 54% of all Canadian caregivers. Manage expectations. Older adults may turn to their grown children to handle their affairs when they pass away or if they become ill or unable to make financial decisions on their own. It's important to have conversations with loved ones about how they would like their finances handled later in life or in the event of diminishing capacity, long before a loved one needs assistance. And look at everyone's best interests. A non-confrontational way to raise the topic is by turning it into them helping you. If something went wrong, you'd be at a loss to know how to help them. Knowing what their wishes are and that they have a plan for their finances takes the pressure off of you having to make those decisions in times of distress, while letting them know that you have their best wishes and interests at heart. I recently had this conversation with my own parents since I had no idea about their finances or who they bank with or are insured with. We have a great resource called the Record Keeper that can help keep all their pertinent information in one handy location, which can give them and you peace of mind when dealing with your loved one's financial affairs. Visit FCNB's Finances 50 Plus website for resources to help have these conversations with the older adults in your lives. So, as you work to build your financial resilience and put the steps we've talked about today into action, you may look to others to support you. Developing a network of peers who have the know-how, tools, or confidence, and who are willing to help you learn can be a good step. The Government of New Brunswick has mentorships, networking events, and free programs to help empower women and build their financial network and knowledge. If you want more hands-on instruction, consider participating in a financial education class or program. Financial education classes can be the first step in developing knowledge and skills to control your finances without being reliant on others. They can help you prepare for the future by providing resources to help budget, plan, and manage your finances so you are less financially vulnerable to life-changing events. Other resources might include personal finance podcasts and blogs made specifically for women. Be skeptical about financial advice from social media influencers. It's really important to make sure the information you are getting is from a reputable source. When searching for information, remember that your financial journey is an individual one, and the choices you make should reflect your goals and your values. We hope this presentation will encourage you to take control of your finances and take steps to build your financial resilience. We have many resources to help you on your journey on our website at fcnb.ca/personal-finances, including the values quiz and the financial roadmap. You can also find links to these resources in the video description. And thanks so much for listening.